Can you name a few classical composers off the top of your head?
Mozart, Bach,
Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Beethoven, Bach. Of course, everybody else says that.
Beethoven.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. That's the only one I know.
Beethoven?
Mozart.
Beethoven, Mozart, Tchaikovsky, or whatever his name is.
Beethoven,
Chopin, Tchaikovsky.
Bach.
Good, yeah. Can you name any that are women or people of color?
I cannot.
No.
Wow, can I? Let me think about this. Not off the top of my head, yeah.
No. Unfortunately, I don't think so.
I cannot.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Oh, no. No. Aren't they all white guys? Yeah.
Exactly. You got it, queen. Okay. I don't know. Exposure. Hey guys. I felt where did I put my hands? And I'm like, cause like
We're making videos because
our project Exposure is important to me because growing up, I never had examples of people who look like me. I was always the only black girl playing classical music. I felt like classical music was really elitist and that I didn't have a place within the field. People like Florence Price and William Grant Still were never taught in my classical music education, and I felt like history was being forgotten entirely. I felt like because these stories were not being told, that it was equating that this music wasn't good enough and it wasn't worthy of being played.
So in late middle school, I was still kind of becoming more acquainted with my bassoon and learning how to enjoy playing my instrument. And that's when I came across the Imani Winds on YouTube, which is a famous woodwind quintet who at the time was made up of all Black and Latino musicians. And they played a lot of jazz and Latin inspired, Latin styles, and that really inspired me, and I fell in love with them and the bassoonist Monica Ellis, who was the very first woman of color bassoonist that I had ever seen. Before her, I just thought that white and Asian women were capable of playing classical instruments, and then I see someone who, has the same skin tone as me or has this place of music that I'm familiar with, growing up, and that was a very pivotal point for me, because that's when I decided that if she can do that and be successful, then I can do it. And that's ultimately when I decided that I wanted to take music seriously and see where I could go with it.
I wanted to create a video series because when I started researching more and more about marginalized composers, I could barely find anything written about them. I could only find really short biographies, and I could never find videos or recordings of their music.
Last spring, I took a music history course, and in my research, I found it very difficult to find resources for the works of minority composers. I'm talking like biographies, performance recordings, sheet music, all of that. All those things were nearly impossible to find, which I think is why Exposure is such an important project, because it works to kind of reverse those gaps and fill in those voids of resources that don't exist for minority composers.
I thought that the best way that our team could fill this digital void was by creating a visual and auditory representation of this music, by filming artists that we knew who are interested in learning this music. Our project shows that music by marginalized people existed and was valid and is beautiful.
Exposure is very, very important to me, because as someone who's always struggled to kind of find themselves in these spaces, this project is a step in the right direction towards increasing the visibility of women, people of color like me.